This is Super Yacht News in association with Go Earth Boating, navigating boat buyers to better deals. Hi, welcome back to the channel. So I've got a story here that we actually started to tell you about in 2023. This is about a yacht called Stephania. It's a very nice looking yacht built by Dynamique Yachts, which although sounds French, it's actually built in Turkey and built by the company Dynamique, which was previously owned by Russian. I don't know if he still owns it. Anyway, they built the series of yachts called the GTT Dynamic, and there was different sizes, and one of them was this one, 135. They only built two of these yachts. This is one of the yachts, and they were designed by none other than the studio of Porsche. They also designed the interior as well. So it's a yacht that means something to me. I like the fact that it's designed by Porsche. But anyway, the story is that this yacht was seized in Italy in 2023. The vessel had just left France and was headed, I don't know why, but it headed to Genoa. And then it was planned, the plan was that the vessel was going to sail to Dubai. And in the early hours of the morning, the French authorities in coordination with the Italian authorities, they boarded that vessel and they kicked everybody off. They told the crew they had an hour to leave. The vessel was confiscated due to a money laundering case involving a Belarusian national. The yacht was meant to go under. After this happened, the vessel was returned to Antibes in France, where it was laid up for a long time. Some of the footage that on screen right now is from when it was in Antibes. And the vessel was due to go up for auction in January of 2024, but that never happened. Not quite sure why it didn't happen at that point. I think the investigation might not have been fully wrapped up at the time, so they postponed that auction. And then the vessel had to go into a refit period to maintain its RENA certification. And then anyway, the vessel went up for auction in March of this year, and the vessel was sold. It's actually in La Ciotat right now in the shipyard there on the Hard, probably in a long-term refit, because the vessel's been basically abandoned for a couple of years now. So anyway, the vessel, which was up for sale at one point for 20 million euros, was sold in this auction by the authorities, the French authorities, for 10 million euros. So somebody got a pretty good deal on that yacht, I think. Obviously, you know, you always have that the reason why they don't make market value is because of the past and the history and the potential of issues in the future. But I don't think that this is not to do with Ukraine-Russian sanctions. This is to do with good old-fashioned crime. Stephania is a 41-meter or 134-foot yacht, like I said, built by Dynamique in 2021. Only had a few hundred hours on the engines as well. And this is, like I said, one of the GTT 135 models, one of only two built. And yeah, designed by Porsche, exterior and interior. But they're actually built in Antalya in Turkey. So that vessel finally sold. So that wraps up that story as well. I would imagine that wraps up that story. But just wanted to let you know about that. We noticed it today. It pinged on our system today, and we realized it had moved to La Ciotat, and we looked into it, and yeah, that's what had happened. We'll move on. We've got an update on Amadea. Literally, the yacht has officially changed her AIS flag state to the Cayman Islands from the US. Now, the update came through on the 5th of November on Marine Traffic. Obviously, we told you a couple of weeks ago that the yacht had changed flag states. Now, if you don't know, the yacht was sold by the US authorities after a seizure in 2022 in Fiji. They managed to arrest that vessel, kick everybody off, and then sailed it back to the US with a crew selected by the US government. And it's been laid up in San Diego for the last few years. Well, that vessel sold after they proved in court that the person who said he owned it, Edward Kutanitov, they proved that he didn't own it. There's an appeal currently filed by his lawyers in the US, which I thought, so it does seem a bit soon to be selling that yacht, but that's what they've done anyway. Now we believe that Abbas Hussein Sajwani is the new buyer. He's a property developer based in the UAE. Now, so why is there a delay on AIS? Well, the way AIS doesn't actually broadcast a ship's flag state. It just broadcasts a series of information. And the reason why we get suddenly alerted by marine traffic that the flag state has changed is most likely because of the way the AIS works on board. It sends out a certain amount of data, the MMSI number, which is it's like a phone number for a vessel. It's to do with digital selective calling, which is a type of individual calling to a radio on board that vessel. And the MMSI number is issued by the flag state. Now, unlike the IMO number, the International Maritime Organization number, which is given to a ship when it's built, and it keeps that same number throughout its whole life. The MMSI number changes when you change flag states. So what would have happened is when they changed to the Cayman Islands, they would have been given a new number. Now, what the then crew have to do on board is change the AIS unit on board that broadcasts that information. Now, one of the things they do to prevent you from spoofing or to try to prevent you from spoofing the wrong information is once you program your system with the MMSI number, you can't change it. So you have to have the company who built that AIS unit. They've got software that can reset it, but you can't reset it yourself on board. And that prevents you from just changing it whenever you want, right? So when you do change flag states, you have to get either you have to send that unit, remove it, send it back to the company, or you get a new unit and you plug it in with the new number. Now, once they broadcast that new number, then marine traffic will interpret that as a flag state change, and then it gets updated on their system. That's probably why it's just happened now, a couple of weeks later. Like I said, you can't just reset it yourself. It's the only thing on an AIS unit that you can't reset. You can change everything else, the name, everything, but the MMSI number you can't change until it's reset by the company. So yeah, so they've updated that now, so they're broadcasting again a Cayman Islands flag. All right, we'll move on. Motor Yacht Nord has been spotted in the Maldives. This is in, I'm probably going to mispronounce this, the Ra Atoll, which is a sort of a separate section within the Maldives, within the cluster of islands there in the Maldives. An atoll, if you don't know, is basically where a volcanic island once was, and then they have a reef system that forms around the edge of that volcanic island. And as the island, as the volcano dies off, it eventually goes below the waterline, and you're just left with this system with the reef system. Sometimes you get like pockets of land that's built up on it. It's over probably millions of years. That's what an atoll is. And the yacht Nord has been spotted there. Like we said, the vessel sailed all the way across the Indian Ocean with her AIS on for the first time in a few years. But once she arrived in Malé, which is the capital of the Maldives, they switched off that AIS so they could sail around, going dark and sailing around there. So yeah, that's been spotted. We got a photograph sent in by Paul Chipperfield. Thanks very much for that. So yeah, update. She's definitely in the Maldives. We got one other bit of footage here. This is from an Instagram account called Only in Dade, and you can see this tugboat here is being towed, and it gets away from the ship that's towing it, and it crashes into a tender that's moored up to a small yacht there. So that's quite an interesting one. Anyway, guys, I've got a new feature we're going to start. This is called a yacht bargain, ? Is this a yacht bargain? This is about various different yachts that might be for sale at any one time. This one is called Sailing Yacht Yamake, and it's a 42-meter yacht, a 139-foot sailing yacht. Yamake features a three-mast sail architecture based on a hydraulic furling system with all commands centralized in the cockpit. This setup allows the massive yacht to be sailed with a limited crew. So that's very interesting. That's like a Black Pearl, isn't it? It's got 4 large cabins which can accommodate up to 10 guests. Now, the history of this vessel, it was built in 1994 as Sailing Yacht Friday Star, and the yacht became Yamake in 2014 when she was transformed into a luxury sailing yacht, as you see in front of you here. The refit cost multiple millions. Now, the yacht was recently up for sale for $2.5 million, but she's going to be auctioned on the 14th of November on a 24-hour auction with G3 Auctions, with a starting price of just €1 million. So if nobody else bids, you could be in for a bargain there. So that could be a yacht bargain. And like I said, it's going to be held by G3 Auctions. This is the same company that we talked about recently. They did a sale of Jimmy Buffett's old motor yacht. And the reason this is not sponsored or anything, we just thought that this was interesting because these yachts appear to be going for under market value. Now, so like I said, it's not sponsored, but it could be sponsored. If you're interested in sponsoring this piece, then get in touch. If you've got a yacht that's for sale and you want to put it in here, then get in touch with us at the email address in the ticker here. All right, guys, we'll move on to Friday Yacht Spot. The first yacht on the list here has got the most depressing name, Motor Yacht Drizzle. I think that's an awful name for a yacht. It just reminds me of a really nasty rainy day. But it's in Monaco here. There's some excellent footage here filmed in Monaco from Nathan Marks. Like I said, Motor Yacht Drizzle. It's a 2024 Fed ship. Fed ship's killing it right now. They're making some great looking yachts. It's a 92-meter yacht, which is 300 foot. Value is about $300 million. And I think it was build number 1012. Just under 3,000 gross tons. The owner of this vessel is Amancio Ortega, who's from Galicia in Spain, and he's worth, billions of dollars. This was actually it was taken in Monaco. Now, this vessel is a full hybrid electric propulsion system, including two 560 kilowatt electric motors and a 1,029 kilowatt hour lithium-ion battery bank, which makes it the first Fed ship to carry full hybrid electric class notation. Now, one of the things that you might or might not know, depending on your knowledge of yachts, is that we have something called a diesel electric system. Now, what does that mean? It's diesel and it's electric. Basically, you have electric motors which are powered by the diesel engine. So the diesel generators, they create electricity and they send that electricity to the electric motors, which then move the ship, right? That's what diesel electric is. And the reason why it's a hybrid is because they've got this massive battery bank. So the batteries can also supply electricity to those electric motors. Now, the reason why it's diesel electric is because although the generators are diesel, they're not connected to the shafts or the propellers. So that there are no shafts usually. There's an Azipod system when you have this kind of system, and basically it means that the motors are pure electric and they're driven by the electricity supplied by the generators, but the generators are not directly driving the engine. So hopefully I explained that in a way that didn't confuse you more. All right, next on the list, Motor Yacht Luminance. This was taken in Beaulieu-sur-Mer in October. This is by Jackie O. Every time I see, she's sent stuff in before, every time I see that name, I think of Christina O, and I think of Jackie Onassis. Anyway, we've got Motor Yacht Luminance here, delivered in 2024 to a Ukrainian businessman owner, Rinat Akhmatov. This is one of the largest yachts ever built, 145 meters in length, which is almost 500 feet, and a gross tonnage of just under 10,000. Built by Lurston, of course, at a cost of approximately $500 million. Looking quite similar, really, to Crescent and Scheherazade. Same kind of design, isn't it? Next on the list, Motor Yacht Maria. I don't know how you pronounce that. Maria? I don't know. This is in Barcelona, and this was sent in by Troy from City Centre Yachts. And this is an interesting yacht, actually. This started life as a Russian research vessel. It was built in Poland in the 1990s, and the vessel was transported to Ephesus shipyards in Greece, where it went for a 5-year restoration into what you see now. This is a 125-meter or 410-foot yacht and has a gross tonnage of 5,500 gross tons. So thanks very much, Troy, for sending that in. Next on the list, we've got Motor Yacht Invictus. This is in Newport Harbour, and this was sent in by Scott Walavand. I'm not sorry if I mispronounced that. And he says, we recorded this as we left our home port of Newport Harbour on August the 9th in Southern California. Next on the list here, we've got Sailing Yacht Kourou with a support vessel, Motor Yacht Abiona. And we don't know who sent this in, and we don't know where this is. If this is your footage, please let us know. if you want to give us your name or let us know where it was filmed. This is the longest privately owned sailing yacht in the world, capable of propulsion by sail only. That is, unlike Sailing Yacht A, which is larger, but it's a sail-assisted yacht. Obviously, it's owned by Jeff Bezos. We've featured this yacht an awful lot of time on the channel, so I'm not going to go into it too much here, but it's a 127 metre, 417 foot yacht, built in 2023 by Ocean Co. And a gross tonnage of 3,500 gross tons. And estimated value is about $500 million. And the last yacht on the list here is Motor Yacht Pink Shadow. This is in the Bay of Trogir in Croatia. This is sent in by Stefan Rauscher. This is a 58 metre or 191 foot yacht built by the Dutch shipyard Damen Yachting and features interior styling by the British designer named Design Unlimited. This yacht has room for 12 guests in 6 cabins and a crew of 17. Even though it's designed as a support vessel, which is something that Damen have really become known for, I believe this is just the owner's private yacht and he's just using it as the main vessel. It features a 5,000 nautical mile range, has an ice class hull, so you can take it to the Antarctic, and like I said, built in 2023, and it has won awards for its design. All right, guys, I'll leave it there. That is it for this week. It's Friday, yay. So if you're off at the weekend, have a good one. I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually feeling pretty tired after this week. So yeah, if you're having a weekend off, then I hope you have a great one. If you're working on board a yacht right now and you're working over the weekend, I still hope you have a great one. Be sure to sign up to patreon.com/eSysman, as you can see in the ticker there, or you can join us on YouTube Members, and you'll get lots of extra stuff and early releases and background and behind the scenes stuff. So join us there, patreon.com/eSysman or YouTube Members. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and all that jazz, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.